Peace, everyone. Welcome to this week's live training. Today, we're talking a little bit about how to scale from 100 to 300K in your speaking and your consulting business. If you're listening right now, just put hashtag live in the comments. If you're listening in the near and dear future, put hashtag replay. I want to welcome everybody from the Speaking for Profit Circle. If you're here from the circle, go on and put the word circle into the comments. And I also want to welcome our members from the Speaking for Profit University, whether you're in the Rich Speaker Mastery Program or Speaking for Profit Academy, or one of our Speaking for Profit alums. We're just really excited to have you in the space. So no matter how you are a part of this community, go on and share that in the comments. We'd love to see who's here in the here and now or in the near and dear future. Today's training is so exciting because what I have found, especially after hosting our amazing in-person event in Atlanta, Georgia, Speaking for Profit Live, is that several of my amazing clients have been able to scale from 50 to 75K all the way up to nearly $500,000. And I'm going to share with you some of the strategies that they've been able to utilize and some of the strategies that I actually plan on utilizing in my speaking business this year in order to scale it and really begin to build out my personal branding and my framework. So for today's training, I'm going to share a document with you. This document is actually accessible in the Speaking for Profit Circle. So if you want access to it, make sure that you're a part of the community. As of this recording, that is a free community for you to get access to training on a weekly basis. And in the near and dear future, it will no longer be free. So make sure that you go on and join. The link to join should be in the description of this video. Hope to see you inside so that you can continue to scale your amazing speaking and consulting business. So I'm going to share my screen and share this document with you so that I can give you the 4 ways to scale from 100K to 300K. Now, for some of you, you're not at 100K yet, and I realize that. If you aren't, what I would suggest is joining the Speaking for Profit Circle, crafting your signature talk, getting your first paid opportunities. And then once you've been paid to speak, we have an amazing cohort called the Rich Speaker Mastery Program, where we literally teach you how to scale to your first 100K. So if you're not there yet, this training is still great for you to know what to do when you get there. And if you are already there at that level, this will be a great way to prime you to prepare to be able to double your income in the next year. So let me share the document with you. All right, perfect. And what I'll do to make sure that this is accessible, just make it a little bit bigger. And let me remove this branding so that you can see the full document. So scaling your speaking and consulting business from scaling your speaking and consulting business from $100 to $300,000 requires focus on efficient systems, a dedicated team, and strategic planning. And these are the 4 ways to achieve this growth. So the very first thing that you're going to want to do is hire an operational assistant. And I actually put up a post on Facebook and people are going back and forth with me that hiring is not always the first thing you want to do. But the reason that this has been important for me and for several of my clients is you need to be able to really be in your zone of genius. And to be honest with you, it's going to be very difficult for you to do that if you are busy sending out a lot of messages, emails, and not really able to become an amazing speaker and build amazing relationships on the ground. So I find that one of the first people you need to hire is an operational assistant to support you with your lead flow and consistently getting in front of more people. So this person is going to be in charge of LinkedIn relationship building. They're also going to be able to research events and put in applications for conferences for you. They'll be hosting and supporting you with your cold email campaign. And they'll also do follow-ups and calendar management to make sure that your calendar stays full and booked with meetings and opportunities. And also that you have those follow-up calls set up with organizations so that when you do get a paid speaking opportunity, you don't just get one, but you get several. And you're really able to not just build out like, okay, I'm going to go in and do one training, but you're able to build out a relationship where you come in on a consistent basis. If you want more information on how that job description should look for that person, within this document, if you click here, I've created a job description that you can already put out and that you can utilize. Of course, you might want to update it. Like for some of you, you might want your operational assistant to also support with your YouTube channel or maybe to support with social media. And that's great as well. But I think one of the first things we can do is really take our hands off of some of the sales pipeline and have someone there to create that for us and that consistency. The great thing about it is if your business is already at 100K, you should already have a lot of relationships built out, a lot of templates, a lot of information, which we teach people how to do in the Rich Speaker Mastery program. So if you have all of that, you're really just turning that into some standard operation procedures and showcasing to your operational assistant how they can do it on a consistent basis using the templates and the models that you've already tested out, using the messaging that you've already tested out. So that's the first thing that you want to do to scale from 100 to 300K is you want to hire that operational assistant. Now, many of you may be thinking like, how much does that cost? And that really depends on where you're hiring them from, right? If you hire an amazing virtual assistant that maybe is from the Philippines, which I have, that might be a little bit more cost effective. But if you want someone who's local in your city, you're going to have to pay those wages. So I think it really depends on what type of access you want to have to your operational assistant. You could always hire someone who's offshore or in another country to start and then scale and eventually hire someone locally when you get a little bit more cash flow in your business. And I just want you to remember this. Remember, an empty calendar often means an empty bank account. So if you're not on calls with decision makers about speaking and consulting contracts, most likely your business isn't growing. So it's important that you have someone there to make this more consistent. Now, what usually happens is people don't want to hire this out because they're afraid that this person is going to stop them from making money. But really, when you allow a person to be in their zone of genius and to just do that one job, it allows you to sit back and relax, but also allows them to even scale more. So what I found is that usually these operational assistants are the folks who are able to scale your business faster than you ever have. And that's really supportive. Now, within that LinkedIn relationship building, we do have a Legion application. And within that application, it reaches out to 500 leads. Oftentimes, our clients are overwhelmed by that, and it's hard to keep their foot on that pedal and also go out and speak and consult live at events. So this person will be able to keep that going for you so that you wouldn't have to worry about that. So that's the first thing. You want to hire your operational assistant. The second thing is you want to create your wealthy speaker framework, right? And your wealthy, create your wealthy speaker framework. We'll do that. This framework is really going to allow you to design a system based off of your talk. So instead of just having a single speech, you want to have a 3 to 5 step problem solving framework. This is design is clear. It's a step-by-step process that addresses the specific problem that you are really supporting your industry with fixing. So it's going to be all about a solution-based framework that allows your industry that you're supporting to grow. And you want to have a 3-layer offer process when it comes to this. So you might want to have a digital product that's accessible to sell, core live training that you go and do for an hour to 90 minutes. And then you also want to have a retainer or multi-day training available that you can sell to organizations as well. What this does is when you are really shifting your pricing, and let's say you have to go up to 7,500 for that 90 minutes. If a person says that they don't have that budget, you can say, okay, great. Well, I have a digital product that's on sale for $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 that they can purchase. So you're still able to make money from your framework, but you're not having to use more of your time. So it's important that you're able to build that out. We actually support people in putting that together in our Speaking for Profit Academy program. And then I do talk about this on a deeper level, not as deep as Speaking for Profit Academy, but on a level where you can create it within our 5 days to 5-figure speaking workshop. So if any of those interest you and you want to build out this framework, just reach out to me and my team, and we can get on a call and discuss how that can support you. But really having this 3-layer offer process makes it so that you don't have to always say yes to things because you have various ways that you can offer your framework and your solution to the problem that you're solving for your industry. So that's the number two thing that I would do, right? First, operational assistant, hiring them. Second, creating your wealthy speaker framework so that you have more time and more energy for your higher level clients. The third thing is shifting your pricing and saying no more, right? So you have to set up pricing that is effective. So I would suggest that your fee is anywhere from 7,500 to above at this point when you're trying to scale your business. That you have digital products set up and that you say no strategically. So you need to learn to say no to opportunities that don't align with your pricing or your strategic goals of scaling. I find that my clients who are making anywhere from 200 to 500K, and even myself, I'm saying no a lot more than yes. So you're going to get a lot of opportunities, right? Because at this point, if you've made 100K from your business, you've worked with several organizations, they know who you are, they know that you are great at delivering your message and your framework. Many people are going to want to work with you. But it's important that you have aligned yeses and you say no to some of those opportunities. Some of those no's are a point blank no. Some of those can be a downsell where just like, hey, I can't show up live, but here's a digital product. Or maybe you even begin to advance your team where you hire another trainer who can come in and support you and you can take a piece of that profit, but someone on your team can go and do that training. But you make sure that when it comes to your pricing and when you're going to show up live to an opportunity, that it's nothing lower than 7,500 to $10,000, right? Because when you think about that, if your low is 10,000, it only takes 10 speaking engagements to get you to 100K or contracts or consulting contracts, or it only takes 20 to get you to 200K. So you're doing less for more. And that's really where you're going to have to really get your bread and butter for your business. You don't want to overwork yourself and you don't want to be in a place where you can't over deliver because now we're talking about some more higher end contracts, which means that your framework and your setup has to be really, really successful and built in a way where it's sustainable. So that's going to be the third thing that you're going to do. You're going to shift your pricing. You're going to be saying no more, and you're really going to be in the nitty gritty of negotiation to make sure that you are having more aligned yeses. And the last thing that I would suggest is hiring a financial coach. Now, making the money is easy, but making sure that your money is making money and that you're scaling without failing is something that's so important. So for a few years, we actually had a financial coach in Speaking for Profit University. At this point, we do have some folks within our Rolodex that folks can hire that are part of our community that I really, really appreciate. But the intention of hiring this financial coach is to have someone that will help you avoid lifestyle inflation. So, you start making more money and you're like, oh, I'm gonna buy a new car, I'm gonna buy a new house. You start doing all these things. And next thing you know, all of your profit is eaten up by expenses and you don't want that. So it's to make sure that you don't have lifestyle inflation. It's important that you meet with someone on a regular basis to talk about your money. You have a profit and loss system. You understand the money that's coming in and going out, and you have investments set up to help you make money when you're not working so that you can take that much needed time off and continue to over deliver in your business. This is the time when you really want to optimize your work-life balance. And in order to be able to do that, you have to have someone there to support you with this new abundance that you brought into your life and into your business. So these are the 4 ways that I would scale if I was you. Now I know that today's training is just the icing on the cake. It's not the cake, it's not baking it, it's not the instructions on how to make it happen. But if you need more support with that, I would be honored to get on the call with you and talk about how we can scale your business from 100K to 500K in the next 12 months. What I've done in this document is I've included the link to a discovery call with me, 30 minutes where we map out your business. We talk about what you currently have and see that if we're a good fit to work with one another. And if we are, then we'll be working on building your profitable and sustainable speaking and consulting business. So a quick review before we wrap up. By the way, if you have any questions about this training, feel free to head over to the Speaking for Profit Circle, put them in our questions section, and I'm more than willing to answer them. I'm not going to answer them today because I do have another meeting after this training, but let's do a quick review of what we discussed. So, scaling your speaking consulting business takes system, teams, and strategy. And in order to scale from 100K to 300 or 500K and even hit that seven-figure mark, these are the 4 steps that I would take. Number one, hire your operational assistant. Number two, create your wealthy speaker framework. Number three, shift your pricing and say no more. And then number four, you're going to hire a financial coach so that you make sure that you're keeping more money than you're spending. So I hope that this was a helpful training for you to really start thinking about how you can scale your speaking and consulting business and some of the nitty gritty that goes into building something that's profitable and sustainable. If you're doing this so it's just a side gig, that's great. This is no shame to anyone who just wants to make an extra $10,000 to $30,000 a year. But if you want this to be able to be a legacy business and really replace your income, eventually leave your 9 to 5, or maybe this is something that you do in retirement, it's so important that you have systems, team, and strategy set up. And I am honored to be able to support you in doing that if we're a good fit to work together. So again, if you want this document, you want access to the job description, please make sure that you're a member of the Speaking for Profit Circle. It will be there. And I will see you all next week at our next training. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the community. All right, y'all. Until next time, peace.